The sun worshippers celebrate on the night when the sun starts its journey in the opposite direction, because they are acknowledging that the sun did not die during the 3 days it appears to stop. So June 23rd and 24th are nights of celebration because they are days of recognition for those who thought the sun, and therefore the sun god, died on each June 22nd. That day ended at sunset, so after that moment the next day started, and that was the day the sun actually started its journey home. Babylonians in the past celebrated the night of the new July 4th by lighting bonfires to Baal, their sun god. And Americans light fires in the sky called fireworks after sunset on that day. Observers will quickly note that this is the only American holiday that is traditionally celebrated by fireworks. So here we see a connection between the celebration of July the 4th and sun worship. So the Founding Fathers concealed a holiday to the sun god in their choice of the date of July 4th to declare their independence from Great Britain. It appears that many things once thought unexplainable have an explanation after all. One must only look. The Great Seal, as represented on the back of the American dollar bill, contains other symbols that have generally not been explained to the American people. I'd like to finish my study of the eye above the pyramid. Manly P. Hall, the 33rd degree Mason, and perhaps the greatest writer in history in support of the mystery religion, wrote this: "The eye above the pyramid represents the radiant emblem of the great architect of the universe, the title of the Masonic God. The eye was also the symbol of Osiris. Osiris the sun and principle of good. Osiris was the chief god of the Egyptians. Osiris was the sun. An eye in honor of the great eye of the universe, the sun." So here is the first mention of the eye being both the symbol of the sun and, in fact, of the god who is symbolized by the sun. So it appears that the eye above the pyramid on the back of the American dollar bill is the eye of Osiris, a symbol of the sun god. One can only conclude that our founding fathers knew what they were doing. Not only did they conceal their ancient secret religion in the Great Seal of the United States, they also concealed it in the name of this nation. The next subject is perhaps the most controversial point I will be discussing in this speech, so please get ready for it. Please remember that I asked you to be members of a jury and that you had to be open because this is very controversial, and I would like you to at least hear it and then make your own decision as to whether or not you will accept it. So providing you with that warning, I will now proceed. The first thing I would like to discuss is this statement in the Bible because it will be the key to understanding what I will be discussing for the next few minutes. Revelation chapter 12 verse 9 says, quote, "That old serpent called the devil and Satan was cast into the earth." Notice that the Bible teaches that the devil came to the earth in the form of a snake or a serpent. And the reason this is significant is because whole cultures all over the world have been worshiping the serpent or the snake in their religions. So please keep that in mind as we examine the following evidence. William Josiah Sutton, in his book entitled The Illuminati 666, added another very important piece of the puzzle to the story. He wrote this: "The ancient Mayans, meaning the Mayan Indian tribe of the Yucatan in Mexico, which is a peninsula on the northeast side of Mexico, worshipped the serpent god under the name of Khan. Here we find the origin of our American word. Canny, shrewd, or serpent-like. The Babylonians worshipped Kan, the serpent, and Val, the god of fire. The Romans combined the words into Vulcan, the Roman god of fire, Vulcan, from whence comes our word volcano. This seems to be how the Mayans and Mexicans named their gods. They too combined two words to describe their serpent god. Hence, Kulkul means beautiful bird and Kan means serpent. Kulkulkan means bird serpent in the Mayan language. This is the exact same meaning for Quetzalcoatl, the Mexican god. The cosmic symbol for Quetzalcoatl was a feathered serpent. This statement that Quetzalcoatl was the god of the Mexicans was partially confirmed in this photograph of an Indian dancing with a snake in his mouth. The caption underneath the picture reads in part, "The snake represents the Aztec god Quetzalcoatl." There was one similarity between all of these cultures. They worshipped a serpent god. I would like to start the discussion with this drawing that shows the Mayan queen Mu as a child consulting a soothsayer. It shows that the queen is receiving the words from their serpent god, but through the mouth of the serpent of the soothsayer. The queen is shown on the left side of the drawing inside the red rectangle with her left hand on her face as she is seated facing the soothsayer. She is depicted as a young girl, perhaps in her early teens. The soothsayer is shown in the green rectangle, and she is seated in front of the queen with what appears to be a little table between them. She is shown in front of two other women and two huts. Behind the soothsayer in the yellow rectangle is a huge serpent which towers above the scene. Notice that it has its mouth open as if it is speaking to the soothsayer and the queen as well. The book that included this drawing in its pages said that the winged serpent behind her represented the protective genius of the Mayan Empire. So the snake protected the Mayans. This is a representation of Prince Ko of the Mayans in the heat of battle. His head is near the center of the drawing, and behind him and taller than he appears is the winged serpent, also representing the protective genius of the Mayan Empire. So the serpent was an important part of the worship of the Mayan and Aztec people, which means that it was an important part of the South American culture before the earliest Europeans landed in America. The American people have been told by the majority of the historians who have examined this nation's past that the name America was named after Amerigo Vespucci, supposedly the navigator for Christopher Columbus. But there is an alternative explanation. William Still, in his book entitled New World Order, offers the following explanation. The word America may be the product of secret societies. In an 1895 magazine named Lucifer, notice the name, Lucifer is the name of the magazine, James Price gave an insight into the meaning of the word America. He said that the supreme god of the Mayan culture of Central America, known as Quetzalcoatl elsewhere, was known as Amaru in Peru. Amaru's territory was known as Amaracu, and the word ka means territory, so it's the territory of Amaru. According to Price, from the latter comes the word America.